Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Yana, and I'm the Marketing Director at US Analytics. If you're new here, we are a leading EPM firm and analytics technologies firm. We do refer to ourselves as the picture results company due to the types of systems we build in order to support our clients. Today, we're going to be covering Oracle Analytics products and solutions and how to apply these specifically to EPM systems. We're going to be doing a demo, a Q&A. If you haven't visited our website, we have over 500 resources of guides, tools, blogs, white papers, additional webinars. So I do encourage you to go poke around in there and download what makes sense after this webinar. On top of that, we do have the ability to support you. Our live consultants can coordinate with you should you have any questions after this webinar. We have several quick start options depending on where you are and where you want to go, along with training options as well. Today's webinar is going to be hosted by Becky Wagner, our Managing Director of Analytics and Oracle OAS. She serves on the board of ODTUG and is an active thought leader and speaker at Kscope as well. We'll get started here shortly. In the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to give everyone a chance to join and settle in. We did have a lot of great feedback and response to this webinar, so I just want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to get in. In the meantime, I'm going to launch just 2 quick poll questions for everyone to participate in, and then we'll jump right in. All right, there's another one real quick. Alrighty, everyone. Thanks so much again for joining today and voting on those 2 poll questions. All right, we're really looking forward to talking with y'all about the Oracle Analytics solutions. We are going to have a live demo after the presentation and then a live Q&A session. So I do encourage you all to submit your questions during the webinar. We're not going to be actively answering those until the very end. So we are keeping track of those. Just submit them along the way as we do the presentation. And Becky will get to them at the very end. I think we are ready to get started, Becky. If you want to take over, you're all set.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. So I am Becky Wagner, and I'm going to go through this demo. Hopefully, we're all set and good to go for the rest of the webinar. So I'm just going to go over the agenda really quickly. I'm going to introduce myself, talk about the Oracle Analytic products, why you should or should not upgrade, what you get when you upgrade, what you lose. I'll talk about how you can enhance your EPM systems with analytics. I'll talk real quick about our Oracle Analytics Bootcamp training that we have developed, and then I'll do a live demo and followed at the end with a Q&A session. So a little bit about me. My name is Becky Wagner. I'm the Managing Director of Analytics for US Analytics. I've been in the IT industry for 16 years, doing full project life cycles, implementations, integrations. I started off in the data warehousing space at the state of Kansas, the Department of Administration, in 2006. And then in 2015, I switched over to consulting. I'm also, as well as consulting and being the managing director for US Analytics, I'm on the board of ODTUG. I'm on the board of directors and the analytics community lead. ODTUG is a large Oracle user group, and they have a yearly conference called Kscope. As well, on top of that, I'm also an Oracle OAS, which is designation by Oracle for active members of the community and thought leaders. I'm also a blogger and a speaker at other events as well. So a little bit about US Analytics. US Analytics has been around for 20 years in the EPM space and the analytics space. We have professional services focused on EPM and analytics. We are very nimble and we respond quickly to customer needs. We have a very fantastic corporate culture of discipline and integrity, and we focus very much on customer satisfaction with our clients. We have over 450 clients with over 1,100 successful engagements nationwide. We have offices in Dallas, as well as Houston, Atlanta, and California. So we have several seasoned business and technical professionals within the EPM and analytics space. And we're very active across all of our consultants in the Oracle community. And here are some of the services and solutions we offer. Additionally, we are Oracle partners, and we've been given the recognition as top 10 Oracle solution providers by CIO Applications Magazine. So today I'm going to cover the Oracle Analytic product line. We have Oracle Analytics Cloud, which is Oracle's TradeShip analytics solution. More in focus today for this webinar, we'll also talk about Oracle Analytics Server, which is the new on-premises solution that's available. And then potentially for a future webinar, I don't have time to cover today, but there is also Oracle Analytics for Applications, which is similar to the BI applications of the past, and has pre-built solutions for Oracle ERP SaaS offerings. So just to recap a little Oracle history here. Oracle's first start in the analytics cloud arena was, let's just say, less than smooth. They did have to pivot away from their first cloud solution offerings. They're still available, but they didn't hit the mark with that first round. And then they did have to pivot shortly after that again, because Oracle's whole cloud strategy made a change to Oracle Cloud 2.0. But I will say that why is now better? Why would we think that things are doing better right now? Well, Oracle's spent for the last year and a half a lot of time, money, energy, and attention to really getting Oracle Analytics products right this time. So I think it's a perfect time to start investigating, if you haven't already, on these solutions. They're in a much different spot than they were a couple years ago. So we're going to start off with OAS, because that's going to be a focus for the webinar today. OAS is available as of January this year. It has classic and modern in one application. So if you're familiar with Oracle Business Intelligence, this is still all of the capabilities that you've had with OBIEE in the past. And now we have all of the self-service capabilities and predictive augmented analytics features as well. One thing that's really unique about Oracle Analytics is that OBIEE was a governed enterprise analytics solution. It was very robust. It had a lot of fantastic enterprise-worthy features. That has not gone away. It's still there. And the competitors still haven't come up with a solution that quite matches what OBIEE had. The thing was, when a lot of the competitors came out and had a lot of the self-service features, Oracle was really behind in that game. So they rose to the challenge, and they really have come far on that front. On top of just meeting what everybody else was doing in the marketplace, they started building out features that weren't available anywhere else. Some of the highly engaging and interactive dashboards and visualizations, they're really solid. Machine learning and data science features that are available are really nice for the everyday analyst to be able to do those next level skills. But some of the really best features are the automatically recommended data enrichment, your anomaly detection, and etc. So let's switch to talking about Oracle Analytics Cloud. Everything that Oracle Analytics Server has is available in the cloud, but there are some features that the cloud has that on-premises still does not. Some of the things like natural language generation, mobile day-by-day options, and of course, when you move to the cloud, Oracle gives you the features where they will manage your updates when new updates come out. They will manage your backups. They will manage the operating system and the infrastructure on the back end, and that's taken care of, and you won't have to do those things. The really nice thing that I have seen now that I've been working with Oracle Analytics Cloud for the last 2 years is that there are regular new features released all the time. Usually about monthly, though they won't tell you exactly when the next version release will come out. Those happen automatically when you move to the cloud. So those new features and the focus that Oracle's been giving are yours as soon as they're available. So why should you upgrade? If you are using OBIEE or OBIEE on premises, if you're on 11G, support and error correction ended for those versions back in December 2018. And extended support will be ending soon in December 21. So you are potentially not getting bug fixes, and the only time that you can is when you enter SRs. The latest operating system that you could be using for OBIEE is likely, if you're on a Windows solution, is Windows Server 2012 R2. And that's even in a place from Microsoft where it's ended mainstream support. And bug fixes and end of life will be January 23. And finally, a third thing is that Java is outdated as well. The OBIEE 11G only supports Java 1.7 or 1.6, and I'm sure that you've had your security guys telling you that this is not okay. If you are on OBIEE 12C, the only supported version of that is 12.2.1.4. Support and error correction ended for all the other versions. Again, often OBIEE 12C was installed on Windows Server 2012 R2, and so you get the same kind of mainstream support is ended, and then end of life will be coming in the next couple of years. But the most important reason why you should upgrade is because if you are current on your maintenance and support licensing with OBIEE, you can upgrade to OAS for free. There's no additional cost for that. And things like data visualization, which were an additional license previously, are now included at no cost. So what do you get when you upgrade? Of course, you have all of the existing features that you've had for years with your OBIEE. On top of that, you get your self-service analytics, your data preparation, data visualization, storytelling, sharing, collaboration, and mobile, which is really interesting and a really fantastic feature. It's really changed a lot with these most recent versions. So if you've investigated mobile in the past, you might want to retake a look at that. They're fantastic. Day by day is specific to OAC only. And then you get augmented analytics, things like natural language and voice activated search. You get automatic data enrichment, which says, I have data, I know these other things about it, I'm going to add it automatically. I will show that in the demo, as well as the one-click explain feature, which is fantastic about learning about your data. On top of that, you also get all of the machine learning and data science features for predictive analytics. But probably one of the coolest things that I think about when you get your, when you move to OAS or OAC are all of the data connections. All of the data connectors. You can connect to a very long list of different data types, data connections. And I did want to say that we have found that a lot of these data connections, even if they aren't named here, you can still connect to them using either a generic connector or in other ways. There hasn't been yet a data connection that I haven't been able to successfully implement. Now, I can't honestly give you this webinar slide deck without telling you what you lose, because when you move from OBIEE to OAS or OAC, there are features that are no longer supported, or they have deprecated those features. If you are using scorecard or strategy management, that's no longer supported. And if you want to know more, you can go to the Oracle support doc here in our slide deck. Flash templates are deprecated. They're still available if you need to use them, but understand that Oracle is taking this stance now because Adobe has very publicly said they're going to end support for Flash Player. Oracle marketing segmentation is deprecated and disabled by default. There are ways to enable that if you still need to use it, and you can contact Oracle support to do that. The BI scheduler job manager is deprecated. Now, this is one of those where Oracle has every intention to make this available. They're just going to make it available through the browser. So as soon as they get that feature actually generally available, then they'll deprecate the old option for that. And that goes for most of these flat files and session personalization, act as user. These kinds of things are all deprecated and disabled by default. You can contact support to enable them. And that Oracle intends to have a different option to support these needs, and they'll get that up and working successfully before they actually stop supporting these old versions. Now, what else? What else do you lose when you upgrade to OAS? Well, OAS right now only installs on Linux, so you would lose the option to install on Windows Server. But let me tell you, I do have some friends that have played around and learned how to install this on Windows Server, and most of the pieces are already there. So Oracle is currently working on this, and we expect that to be coming out soon, the option to install on Windows servers. Okay, so how do you upgrade? We have a nice flow chart here that tells you when you can use an out-of-place upgrade or an in-place upgrade. I will let you go through that and figure out where you are on this flow chart, but the real answer is that unless you are on 12.2.1.4 OBIEE, you are going to do an out-of-place upgrade. And even for people who are on OBI 12c, the correct version, a lot of times they can't still upgrade because they didn't install with the certain directory paths exactly just right, or for some other reason. So in most cases, in fact, I would say pretty much every case, I would recommend doing an out-of-place upgrade instead of an in-place upgrade. So what do you need to know for these upgrades? If you're doing an out-of-place upgrade, you're restarting from a clean slate. You're doing a new install. This is going to be built alongside your existing environment. And then you're going to migrate from a single file from your current environment. Some of the security will have to be redone after this, and all of the configuration files and configuration settings will be redone. If you happen to be using custom images and things, those will have to be reapplied. Now, if you end up deciding to go with the in-place upgrade option, your security and configuration settings will come along for the ride. But if you have any existing issues with your system, those are also going to come along for the ride. So also, the thing that keeps me from recommending an in-place upgrade is that it replaces your existing system. So if something goes wrong or you need time to transition, that's just not an option. And again, if you're not using the correct folder structure or standard or Oracle recommended folder structure, then that in-place upgrade doesn't work. So what about the cloud? Why would you consider switching to the cloud? Well, you don't have to wait and do updates manually. You don't have to worry about backups because those happen automatically. Your software is updated far more frequently. Like I said, I've been working with clients with it for 2 years now, and I see updates so often. And a lot of times when we think of update, we think of course, there's some feature or bug that actually ends up breaking something that is existing. But I have not seen that be the case in our existing clients who've been on OAC for quite a while. On top of that, there are hundreds of new features that Oracle has been spending a lot of time and energy on that's just not available on premises OBIEE. And I want to say that it's on parity with on-premises features for OBIEE, though there are a couple, like I showed earlier in the desupported and deprecated features that you may need to take a look at, but near parity for OAC compared to the on-premises OBIEE. Now, why might you decide not to move to the cloud? Well, most of the time you're going to not move to the cloud because the budget doesn't make sense for a one-time cost to migrate, or if the licensing cost exceeds what your current maintenance cost is. If it doesn't provide the change or the value and you're already happy with your current system, you may decide that that's just not worth the cost. But check with us if that's the case, because I will tell you that recently we have been finding that we can actually save customers money. So think of it this way. In the cloud, it's completely scalable and it can grow for demand up to 3 times what size you actually set up. So if you set up a medium-sized analytics server, but during month end or during some other peak time, it needs to grow. It can grow up to 3 times the size of what it was set up for. Now, if you are doing that on premises, you actually have to have capacity for those very peak times, which is very unusual and not the majority of the time. So you may actually be able to size down what your platform is. Now, some organizations just aren't ready to move to the cloud yet, or they can't for various reasons, security or government or what. There are some times where you just can't move to the cloud. But if you are considering that and want to look at the cost, definitely let us know, because I think we might be able to discuss some other options there. Okay, so we have been spending a lot of time recently working with analytics on top of EPM systems. So we find that there's a lot of options and ability to enhance your EPM systems with Oracle Analytics. So we definitely think that EPM and analytics are better together. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to have time to demo that today, but we do have demos set up. I did take some screenshots here of a PBCS instance that I was working with. So you can see that you can connect to on-premises EPM solutions, and that's been around for quite a while. We have the option to connect to those cloud applications as well. So for this PBCS example, we did connect and natively bring in, Oracle recognized already when you connect to that plan cube, all of the different hierarchies. It makes it really easy and available to start using those self-service features that you want to play around with and learn your data or see things. There's also advanced reporting and visualizations available that are not natively available in the PBCS app, because you do have some reporting capabilities in the PBCS app, but things like maps here, predictive analytics and trend lines, heat maps. Those are just some of the features that are available in Oracle Analytics that would just enhance your EPM systems. As well, of course, you can always still do balance sheets or year-over-year comparisons. Something that we have been working on hard lately is to combine and formalize all of our different training options into a more streamlined Oracle Analytics Bootcamp. So we're now going to have our OAC, OAS, and OBIEE trainings, but they're all going to be under this Oracle Analytics Bootcamp. So it's all going to be in one place. So we have a comprehensive 5-day course now. You're going to learn everything you need to know to start using and managing Oracle Analytics on any of these platforms, whether it's in the cloud or on premises. The first 2 days are devoted to Oracle Analytics and visualizations. The third and fourth day will be devoted to different ways that you can do models, either in Data Modeler or in the existing administration tool. And then the fifth day is going to be devoted to systems management and security. Now, because you have joined our webinar, you can take advantage of our promo code, where you can buy one, get one 50% off using this code. And right before I jump into our demo, I did also want to say that we are a full service shop that doesn't only work with Oracle Analytics. We do have plenty of customers who have other analytic platforms. And we've specifically, just a lot of times to make our consulting life easier, we built a connector, and we've decided to turn that into a more robust option. So we have what we call Unified BI, which will take your Oracle Analytics, you log into it, any of your existing pre-built analyses or any new analyses that you build will then become the source for importing into such as like Tableau or Power BI with one click. It's very simple. And if you're interested in learning more, just let us know. Okay, so now I am going to switch over into doing a demo. I'm going to preface this demo that there's so many things to show and I will not have time to show it all. So it's going to be a fairly short demo. So give me just a few minutes while I switch out of my slideshow and over to our demo. Okay, so when I click in on our Oracle Analytics, this is an Oracle Analytics cloud instance. Oracle Analytics server looks almost identical to this. So when you go to log in, right now I'm going to be logging in as the admin. So I'm going to have kind of the keys to the kingdom, but just know that you can have a very robust security option set up where you can have users, authors, you can do integration with Active Directory or other authentication methods. So this is kind of what you see when you first log into Oracle Analytics. Depending on what you've been working with, your most recent options are going to show up here. For the demo, I'm going to start by creating. That way you can see how easy it is to get started. So I'm going to click on the create here, and I'm going to create a data set. So you can create connections, and earlier I was describing all of the different connectors that are available. Not only do you have all the connectors that were traditionally available through the RPD, through OBIEE, but we do have data connectors here for so many different options. Today, I'm not going to actually do one of those connections. I'm going to show you how easy it is to enhance or add to an existing data connection by bringing in an Excel spreadsheet or a flat file or data file. So what we're doing here is we're bringing in an Excel spreadsheet that has different stores and their target sales amounts. And one of the things that I talked about that I really like about the new features that are available is that you can enhance your data, and Oracle is going to, just without having ever seen this data before, they're going to know how to enrich this data because they're recognizing it. For example, region here is United States, and you might have some Excel spreadsheets that say US or United States or North America or America. And you need to join that with your existing ERP or EPM solutions, and you know that they can be named differently. So you might want to join on your code, your ISO code. So you can enhance this by bringing in the ISO code by the 2 code or the 3 code, and you're adding this automatically to your data without doing anything. You could also enhance this data set with population. So you could then do more advanced looking at different data with this. You could even do the population for a city. And that could be very useful to enrich your data without doing anything. Oracle's recognizing these things. One other thing, when you're bringing data in, it's very easy to make sure that the values are treated accurately. So for calendar month, it knows that these are numbers, but you know that you're not going to want to add up calendar month. It's not going to be treated like a sum. So you just come in here and say none. And now this number will be treated like the attribute it is. And then once you've done all of this enrichment, you can apply those changes and you can start working with the data. You could also be doing things like joining this data to other data sets, existing ERP or EPM connections and tables. What I do want to show you some other advanced features is that, say, once you get here, you don't know exactly what you want to build yet. You want to learn about this data. So we might come and look at the sales amount target and just explain that. And this is a great way to start learning about your data. And maybe you don't know exactly what you want to look at. This is going to help you determine that. So by default, Oracle's going to help you understand your data just by having it explain the data, by looking at it. And so you can look through here and find some things that are interesting. Maybe the states and the cells by states are interesting. Maybe the types of products are interesting. Maybe the month of the sales are interesting data. But not only does it just show you some interesting features for your data, it can also show you the anomalies. By looking at this data, it expects the sales on a certain calendar month to be this, but it's not. And so maybe that's an interesting fact. So now we're going to take these pre-built visualizations and add them to our canvas. And now we can start working with these. Now, one of the great things is it's super easy to change the visualization types and make them more meaningful. So we're looking at the amount by state, but we can look at that in a map instead. And this is super useful. And then maybe the calendar month, we don't want to look at it as a vertical bar, but we want to look at it as a horizontal bar. And maybe the product category, we want to change a visualization to box plot. And this is nice and interactive, but I do think we could make this a little better by also including color in there. So now we've got a color visualization on top. And so those are some of the ways you can just very quickly, very easily, without knowing anything about your data, turn this into some very meaningful visualizations. So I'm starting to run short on time. There's so much more that I want to show you. Let's just switch to an OAS instance and see if I get kicked out or not, if I've timed out. This is an OAS instance. It has the same features as the OAC, and since the visualizations I was just showing you, those are also available here. OAS and OAC both have the classic dashboards and analytics and answers screens that you have been familiar with OBIEE this whole time. And the catalog is still available. But I wanted to show you some just drill through features as well real quick before we switch over to Q&A. I'm afraid I may have actually timed out on my session. Let's see. Nope, it's still there. Great. So not only can you do the advanced self-service visualizations and use it with drill through and filtering, you can do the classic ones as well. So you can set up hierarchies and drill through like it is here, where you can just drill in and you can see by month or by quarter. And it's very quick and very interactive. You can also drill in through the numbers and actually determine whether you're going to go to the detail level or the line of business, navigate to deeper analysis. So you can set those drill through features up. And here are just some of the other dashboards that were available through that, and they were set up through the drill through capabilities. We'll go back one page and we'll do just one more. Again, you can drill through and drill down on any level here. Another way to do this kind of drill through, I'm going to show you through with heat map using conditional formatting. So say you have several different offices and you want to look at a couple, and you have several different lines of business and you want to just look at a couple there. And now you have a heat map option. But then you can also drill down and it completely changes the chart instead of expanding on the chart. Drill down by cell phones and switches the type of cell phone by the office. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to cut myself short on time for the demo here. I appreciate your patience. There's hours and hours worth of different visualization types, and I would love to share those with you. So if you're interested in a custom demo, definitely let us know and we can set that up as well. We can go into a lot more features. At this point, while we are working through and getting the Q&A set up, I did want to let you know that we have a free complimentary strategy assessment available, that if you are interested in helping plan your next steps or your next project, we can guide you through that with something that's tailored specifically to you. On top of that, we have several quick start options that we can help you think about depending on where you are and where you want to go. So we have a lot of quick start solutions available as well. So you can request that. And I'm going to hand it back over to Jana.
Thank you, Becky. I really appreciate that demo and that presentation. So I see some questions rolling in already. I do want to launch 2 more poll questions while we wait on those questions to get in. So I'm going to launch those now if you don't mind answering, please, and then we'll get started with the Q&A here in about 2 minutes. All right, Becky, I'm going to have you do the Q&As now.
Okay, I'm gonna start through all of these. I'm pretty sure we can't make through them all, but I'm gonna see how many I can get through first. The first question is, do OAS and OAC create data extracts like Tableau from data sources that users create, or is it always a live connection? And the answer is it can do both. You can create a connection through OAC that will be live against your ERP or EPM system, or you can create a connection that has to be scheduled and then refreshed. So there's also options with OAS and OAC and Oracle Analytics Desktop, which is also DVD, data visualization desktop, where you can actually, if you're, for example, using a spreadsheet and you make changes and update that spreadsheet, you can make that connection to where that updates in Oracle Analytics as well. So the answer is both, or all of the above. It has the option to do a live connection. It has an option to be a static poll, and then you have to do refreshes, and you can schedule those as well. And so that's part of the options in OAC and OAS that I wasn't able to demo, but there are those robust features for data preparation and scheduling those out. So the next question is, where is the data stored in OAC? And that's, I love that question, and the answer is it's stored in the server and in a database that you won't have access to. Those live in several different places, and so where that data is stored depends on what type of connection it is and such, but having access to where it's stored, because you in OAC you don't have access to the operating system, you won't be able to see. Does the RCU utility need to be run on a database? I assume that when we're talking about RCU utility, we're talking about Oracle Analytics Server install, and the answer is yes. And there, in our resources at the end of the slide deck, there's a certification matrix, so you can see which database options are available for that RCU. Of course, with Oracle Analytics Cloud, you're not running the RCU. That's pre-built for you. You just click a few buttons, and then it builds all of that out for you. What options within Oracle for tracking web engagement, if any? There's still the usage tracking or user tracking that's been available for a few years now in OBIEE. They're available as well in OAS and OAC. If you're interested in investigating that and that doesn't quite meet all of your needs, let us know. We have some robust options that we've pre-built ourselves here at US Analytics that can also expand upon that usage tracking. Can OAC or OAS point to a file system instead of a database? Not directly, but you can certainly bring into OAS or OAC any of the files that you want. If you are interested in setting up some advanced scripting, you can set up an actual pretty robust option for tracking changes in any of those files in the file system. But that would actually be something done outside of OAC or OAS. Is OBIEE 12.2.1.4 the same as OAS? And the answer is no. You're actually going to upgrade from 12.2.1.4 to OAS. And so the difference is OBIEE doesn't have data visualization desktop or the data visualization features. Those are now available for free with OAS, but that's a new install. Oh, this one's my favorite. You mentioned DV and DV and Visual Analytics VA. Are those the same, and is VA included in OAS? So the fun part is that this has gone through several name changes, and it's about to go through, or already has gone through, another name change, which I'm not following along with very well. When I say DV, it's the same almost. It's the newer release for VA, for Visual Analyzer. Visual Analyzer was what it was called a couple of years ago. Then it switched to DV. Now it's actually Oracle Analytics. It's Oracle Analytics for desktops, which is what DV or DVD was. So there is a name change. It is the same. It's the new iteration of that same feature. Another good question, would the RPD still be needed in OAS if my data source is an Oracle database server? You actually have different reasons why you would want to do it one way or the other. If you want a live connection, you can use the data connector feature through DV. And then if you're wanting to do some of the other governed enterprise style modeling, you would still want to use the RPD. So the RPD is still available. You still have the administration tool for Oracle Analytics and Oracle Cloud. Those same modeling options are available there. DB is more designed for self-service, though it has more and more capabilities now that do some of the same things. And then I think we're going to wrap up with one more question. And when is OBIEE 12214 support ended? And the answer is Oracle hasn't given a date yet. It's still to be determined. So right now they're still doing error correction for 12214 OBIEE, and they're still doing, the enhanced support for going forward. So we don't have a time frame yet, but now that they're really starting to be able to give you those same options in these new product lines, I expect them to start coming out with those end of life dates. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the Q&A. If I didn't get to your question, still leave it in the chat and we will try to answer those offline. One other thing I want to share with you is our resources. Everything that I've spoken about today comes either from our blog or from Oracle's website. The documentation finally is actually now becoming pretty robust. And so if you want to know about the certification matrix or the end of life, or any of the comparison features between OAC, OAS, and OBIEE, all of those will be here in this deck that we are going to be sharing after the call. Okay, Jana, I'm going to hand it back on over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think this concludes our webinar, guys. As Becky said, please use the deck that we'll be sending out as resources. We are going to be sending this replay out as well, so do keep an eye out for that. We have a ton of other resources on our website, webinars, ebooks, all of that. So please visit our website and make sure that you're up to speed on that and subscribe to our blog. Stay tuned for our April webinar, and if you do have any additional questions, please reach out to me at marketing@eus-analytics.com. If you answered our poll about the roadmap discussion or do want that assessment, we'll be in touch with you shortly. And I think this wraps it all up. Thank you so much for joining, and thanks so much to our presenter, Becky.